Hi, everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. Today, I am going to answer a question for everybody who's watching and tunes in. I have gotten this question probably over 100 times in the last 3 years. And the question is, how can you be a Christian and still believe in God and heaven when God took your child away from you? It's a tough question. And I've been to a lot of support groups on Facebook and different websites where, everybody's just really angry. Of course, when they lose a child, you have every right to. It's the most painful, excruciating thing you will ever go through. And hopefully I can make it through this video without crying. Um, my daughter, Madison, when she was 2 years old, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor, a pilocytic astrocytoma, which usually is a benign brain tumor. Hers was the rare 1% where her tumor acted like it was malignant and it spread. So she started off having her first emergency brain surgery when she was 2 years old. After that surgery, they put her in a drug-induced coma to release some of the swelling that was in her brain. During the time when she was in the drug-induced coma, she had a massive stroke and the stroke was not caught by the doctors. So that stroke unfortunately left her disabled. She had right side hemiparesis, which is weakness on one side. Her left eye could not open, so she was legally blind in the left eye. Physical delays, speech delays. She had to relearn how to walk, talk, do everything all over again. It was really, really hard. But she always had a positive attitude. She was always happy and goofy and silly. She was the friendliest little girl you would ever meet. She would go up to complete strangers and hug them and tell them that she loves them and that they're their best friend. During Madison's life, she had 8 brain surgeries, 15 surgeries in all. She had epilepsy. She had some seizures, silent seizures, and they weren't big, massive grand mal seizures, but she had them. Some days were better than other days. Some days she could walk. Other days she would just lose her balance, and just be out of it. It was really, really hard. So of all the surgeries that she had, she was in the hospital for long periods of time every year. She was still the happiest kid in the world. She was my miracle. She was my life. She was my soul. She never made it past like an age 4 level. So she was quite delayed. But she was still my miracle. And she was still happy no matter how many doctor visits she went to, how many surgeries, how many pins and pricks and pokes, and she was still always very, very happy. She was even on the news once as the miracle baby. So, but then her tumor started spreading when they noticed that they started spreading probably when she was about 5 or 6 years old. She ended up getting 4 brain tumors and tumors up and down her whole entire spine. They called it the grapevine effect because they were like little tumors like up and down her spine, like a little grapevine. So we decided to go for radiation and try radiation because since her tumors are normally supposed to be benign, chemo really didn't work very well. So during radiation, it was very, very hard. She ended up getting something called somnolence syndrome, which is pretty much after she was finished with radiation, all she did was sleep. I had to force her awake just to feed her, to change her, anything to try to get her motivated to stay awake. It was very, very scary times. But during her life, each brain surgery, and every time she went into the hospital for a surgery, an illness, brain tumor, anything, doctors would always say, Brienne, she's not going to make it out of this hospital. This is it. I had over 7 doctors tell me she wasn't going to make it past the age of 2. So yes, every time she went to the hospital, which was probably every 6 months, I was scared. I cried. But there was always something in the back of my head that knew and told myself, and I told the doctors this too, you don't know my daughter. She's a miracle. She's strong. She's a fighter. She'll be fine. She'll come over, she'll come out of this and she'll be able to go home. And each time, sure enough, she grew stronger, and proved all the doctors wrong. Well, on May in 2017, it was around Easter time, my daughter had multiple strokes. And for the first time in 18 years, I knew in my heart I didn't have much time left with her. She was missing 1/4 of her brain already from all the brain surgeries. She already had a stroke on one side of her brain, the opposite side of her brain where she had just had these multiple strokes. So she didn't have any healthy brain tissue left. So I knew that. And after the strokes, she couldn't talk. She couldn't walk. She was in a semi-vegetative state. It was extremely hard. I lost it. I went, Nobody wanted to be around me because in my heart I knew, and she wasn't going to make it. And it was the first time I sat down with her and said, Madison, your mom can't ask you to stay anymore. I know that. I can't have you staring at the ceiling for the rest of your life. That's something no parent would ever want to say to their child, is that it's okay if you need to go. But I knew down deep that she suffered enough. For 18 years, I prayed every single day, God, just heal her, so she doesn't have to go through any more pain, any more illnesses, anything. And I took her home in a semi-vegetative state. And 7 weeks later, she passed away. And to this day, I always get questions, how can you not be angry at God? I understand that this video is a little taboo for some people, and I'm sorry. I'm not pushing religious beliefs or anything like that on anybody, by no means. But when she lost it, she was in the hospital. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, like any parent, it is the most excruciating, painful thing that anybody could ever go through. They say time heals everything. No, unfortunately it doesn't. There is a part of me that I will never have back. When I went to go pick up her ashes at the cemetery, there was that one time, and everybody that was driving next to me in their cars on the streets, I feel sorry for them because they probably thought I was totally psycho and crazy. I just started crying and screaming and yelling at God, why couldn't you just heal her one more time? That was the only time I yelled at him. And I apologized afterwards. I prayed for 18 years for God to heal my daughter, to heal her, to make her well again, so she doesn't have to go through any more surgeries, pricks and pokes. And she went through a lot. She went through a whole lot in her life. And I was always there by her side. I saw everything. But she was always so happy and so goofy. I know where my daughter is now. She's in heaven. God answered my prayers. He healed her. He might not have healed her where I wanted her to be healed, but she's healed. She didn't have to go to hospital visits anymore. No more surgeries, no more pain, no more seizures. I lost myself for 2.5, 3 years, and I'll never be whole again. It's not just something that, I mean, I'll be broken forever. Though I have started picking myself up a little bit, realizing that, hey, I have a son. I still need to live for him. He's my rock. And, I don't know. So people always ask me, how can you still believe in God and not be angry with him? Because I know where she is. He did answer my prayers. He healed her. She's healed. I know that sounds kind of weird and stuff like that, but after your child passes away, you have a lot of guilt inside of you. Like, if I did this different, or if I did that differently, or something like that, I could have saved her. And that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, no matter what. But at least I know she's not in any more pain. And in God, when he takes children away, or any loved one away, I just firmly believe that it was their time, and God needed a special angel up in heaven. I know that doesn't answer a lot of questions, and it does not take the pain away by no means. The pain will be there forever. But since I've been asked that question a lot, I wanted to answer it for everybody. For anybody that needs to hear this or whatever. And if you've gone through the same experience I have with the loss of a child, my heart goes out to you. I know what you're going through, and I know how painful it is. But be rest assured, at least I know that, and I believe I'll see her again and we'll be reunited. And I wanted to share with you. This is my daughter, Madison. She lived to be 18 years old. She was a miracle. And I'm slowly trying to find myself again since she's passed. But I just wanted to share a little bit of her story and my story. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.